Welcome to What Self-Care Looks Like. I'm your host, Brittany Elliott. It may be hard to hear, but self-care is not spa days, a weekend getaway, or brunch with your bestie. True self-care is the practice of protecting your well-being and happiness, and it lives within your daily routine. I'm a self-care and mom life coach here to help you prioritize your needs and practice self-care in a meaningful way so you can reclaim joy in your motherhood experience. Let's get back to you. Hey, welcome back to the show. My name is Brittany Elliott. I am a self-care and mom life coach here to help you prioritize your needs and practice self-care in a meaningful way so that you can reclaim joy in your motherhood experience. And today we're going to talk about how you can get more time out of your day as a working mom. First, though, I just want to tell you a little bit more about the type of resources I offer as you may be new here, or maybe you've listened to the episodes before or the show before, and things maybe have changed. So, one, coaching. So I offer one-on-one coaching. I would recommend it if you are looking for support in your specific situation. So the specific stage of motherhood you are in, we sit and we work through that. I help you to develop a plan and a self-care routine to help you really thrive in your motherhood experience, and it's tailored completely to you because we get to have a back and forth conversation through a live, virtual one-on-one session. The other thing I offer is the mental load audit. So the mental load audit is twofold. It's the mental load audit checklist, which is the resource to help you check in with all of the invisible labor that you are carrying. And it also has a workshop. So there's not one-on-one. It's actually a video session that's pre-recorded, so you get instant access to it. So it's more self-paced but guided. And then there's also the book, What Self-Care Looks Like, which is available via Amazon. And then those are all like the paid resources. And then everything else is the freebies on my website and the podcast. So that's that for a snapshot in time. We're in May 2025. And an exciting thing, I'll be celebrating 6 years of marriage this weekend. So happy anniversary to my husband. All right, so let's jump into talking about time. So there's not enough time in the day to do all the things that you want to do, but there is enough time in every day for you to do the things that are important, specifically to do what's important for your well-being and happiness. I want you to embrace the fact that self-care is simply the practice of protecting your well-being and your happiness, and doing that consistently. So think about a time when you had an insanely busy day. One, when you barely made it out of the house on time, you had to stop at the grocery store after work because you forgot to thaw out meat, or you opted for fast food because you had to get your child to some after school activity, for example. Those days are full of rushing. And for me, I despise being rushed. It makes me feel really out of whack, really wonky, and it kind of changes my personality to me. It just brings out a really bad side of me. And I think it's because I feel really unsettled and unable to catch my footing. So think about a time that's happened to you when you were rushing. Now, think of a time when you've gone to bed at a decent time with the kitchen clean, the house feeling fresh, you spent time with the kids and your spouse, you got a full load of laundry done, and everything just felt calm as the day closed out. So those days that end with that feeling of calm are what I refer to as exception days. And I break this down in my book, What Self-Care Looks Like, in chapter 3, titled Rules versus Exceptions. So as a rule, for me, most of my days fall somewhere right in between the calm and the chaos. And The chaotic days really don't unsettle me as much anymore because I know when they're coming, I can plan for them and I can act accordingly and I can make adjustments to my expectations based on how much time I'm going to have or not have in those days. So I find extra peace in the calm days because I know how rare they are. And I've learned what days are what, which days will be calm versus chaotic, all by completing a simple time audit. And I do that a couple times a year. I used to do it once every season, but now I just kind of check in typically twice a year. And a time audit is literally you tracking your time, tracking everything that you do every hour of the day, and I recommend you doing that over a 7-day period. And if you have a lifestyle that fluctuates pretty drastically from one week to another, then you would want to do it for 14 days, maybe even doing it for the whole month so that you have an accurate forecast of how time really looks for you. So the time audit that I use, you can download it for free at backtiyouin5.com/time. I'll drop the link in the show notes so that you have it, but it's a simple spreadsheet with an equation to calculate how much time you use every day. Now, I find it helpful because it allows you to see why you're feeling overwhelmed on those chaotic days, because what tends to happen is you'll know that you're busy. You'll know that. You can feel the busyness, like just like that hum to your life and how there's something always happening and going on, but you can't maybe pinpoint exactly what it is that's taking up so much of your time. And it's like you're always chasing getting things done. And if you're feeling like, oh, there's just never enough time in the day for me to do X, Y, or Z, then it's really important for you to focus your energy on auditing your time. And when I first started tracking my time, there were days where I literally had negative time. So there's 24 hours in a day, and I would plug in all the things I was doing, and I'd have like negative 2 hours left. And you're like, how how do you have negative time? How are you overdoing it? So in those days, I was really overextended. So I wasn't sleeping enough, and I either needed to like call my mom to do a pickup, or I would be literally leaving from work and then driving directly to an event. Like it was, I think, around the time when my daughter started dance class. And so I would leave directly from work and basically meet my husband at class so that we could like basically swap so that he could go to work. And so that time that I really needed to commute home and then get myself together to regroup and go to the next thing, I didn't have it because I'm using that time to do something else and like make little side deals with people, and not really side deals, but really calling upon my resources to get all of these things done. And then at the end of the day, I'm wondering why I'm like just feel beaten and battered and exhausted. And it's because every single second of my day I was using for something else, or 1 5-minute period, I was doing multiple things in that time. And so I was running in negative. Um, and on the days that I had hours of downtime that I could have actually used for something productive, like a self-care activity or household chore, instead I noticed I would use that time to scroll on social media, or I would watch TV for an undisciplined amount of time. Now, I'm not saying in your self-care routine you can't have like your pleasurable times can't be used like watching TV or scrolling social media. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that we need to be mindful of how much time we are spending doing those things. Because if I came to you and I said, hey, how much time do you have to use for self care? And if you can't tell me, then that should also be an indication to you that you need to do a time audit. Because it's very easy to say, oh, I don't have time to do that. But to answer to someone, well, how much time do you have? It's completely different, because there were days when I could tell a person, I have zero time. There are 0 minutes. I have zero capacity of minutes to do that. Where other days, it's like, you know what? I actually have 5 minutes. I have 10 minutes to talk. I actually have an hour that we could get together if we can get something done literally in an hour. So once you audit your time, you'll know where you have the availability to do more and where you don't. And this works on 2 levels. So a lot of women think they don't have time for self-care, and this reframes your thinking to consider how much time you do have instead of assuming you don't have any. It also provides the justifications for you if you have been missing out on events you would like to go to, or if your house hasn't been as tidy as you prefer, or if you're scrambling at the last minute to wash a load of underwear and socks because everyone in the house is out of them. Auditing my time definitely helped my husband as well. So he and I share the load of household tasks, among other things. And sometimes he'll look around and say, I really need to do laundry, or I've been slipping on the cleaning. And when I walk him through like how we've actually been spending our time, it makes things clearer to him, because he will feel like, oh, I've just been sitting around not doing anything, if he sees like a load of laundry that needs folded, or a load of laundry that needs put away, or if there's dishes in the sink. If he walks past that too many times, he's like, well, what have I been doing? Am I just ignoring this mess? And so I'll have to go through and say, okay, these last 3 days, we have literally just been coming and going. There's been really no time to do that. So that's why the house looks the way it does right now. We will make the time and set aside the time this weekend when things are a little lighter and get this stuff done. So it's really a way to be more efficient in your household, and also give yourself grace for when things just aren't looking the best, or um, you're feeling like your output is not, you're not seeing it. Like, you're not seeing the work that you're doing because there's no tangible things going on in the house that you can relate it to. So a time audit really helps that, because you're probably not a lazy human. Like, you're just not a lazy adult, but there are just extremely busy times. And I notice this a lot too, if I'm sick, or if our daughter is sick, and let's say I stay home with her, and I'm thinking, okay, well, she's sick, so while she's napping, while she's resting, I should be able to get all this stuff done around the house, right? But the reframe is, hey, this isn't like a free day. This is a put your energy into what your kid needs from you because they are sick. If I'm sick, this isn't a free day for me to get stuff done around the house. Like, this isn't this grand day. It's like, oh, now I can just have a catch up day. No, it's, you're sick. You need to rest. You need to listen to your body. So if there were dishes in the sink last night when you went to bed and you wake up sick, they're still going to be in the sink because you're not going to push yourself to do that and punish yourself for being sick. Hey, it's Brittany here, your host of the show, and I'd like to invite you to grab your copy of my book, What Self-Care Looks Like. It's the roadmap for working moms who want to prioritize their self-care and rediscover the joy in their motherhood experience. It's a must-read for any mom who has felt lost, unseen, or unsure along her motherhood journey. Buy it today at www.whatselfcarelooks.com. At your own time, you'll be able to schedule time for specific activities and tasks. It's almost like how you would budget money by planning out what each dollar would do down to the last buck. A time audit does this for your time. For example, if you audit your time and find that during that week, Tuesday evenings, you have about 3 hours of available time, but on Thursdays, you have 15 minutes. You shouldn't attempt to cram anything else into your Thursdays, but Tuesdays would work better. And this probably sounds super elementary, right? You're like, Brittany, I get it. But I am telling you that until I tracked my time down to the minute, I had severely underestimated how much time I actually had to recharge. I didn't always have hours of time, but there were pockets of 15-minute intervals here, 5-minute intervals there. And they would just randomly be available over the course of 7 days that I could use to my advantage to proactively protect my well-being and happiness. So you may have pockets of time that you could use for your self-care. They may be times that are not the most convenient. They may be more randomized times. So what I do now is like I keep a resistance band at my office at work. I have a yoga mat there so that if I have a meeting that runs, like if I get an extra break somehow during the day, or if my back starts to hurt or something just starts to feel uncomfortable and I'm like, oh, I really need a stretch, I really need something, I have that available at work so that I can take advantage of that time. There have been days where we've been busy going from birthday party to birthday party with my daughter. And if it's like, for example, one was at Sky Zone. And so while my daughter was on the trampolines, like it's a little trampoline park if you're not familiar with it, I was like walking, like doing laps around the facility to like get my steps in and get my body moving, kind of get my heart rate up and down, like doing like cardio and stuff. And sometimes I was just walking in place and talking to people, and people were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I didn't get to work out this morning. We're just back to back today, so I'm just trying to get a little bit in now." And that's what you start to look for as your mindset starts to shift toward, hey, how can I truly protect my well-being and happiness now? And so a lot of the concepts that I talk about over and over on what self-care looks like is just really basic elementary stuff, and there's a reason for that, because in one-on-one coaching especially, we're starting from the bottom, like the barest of things, like what can you do, what's one thing that you can do. And so I'm coming from the experience of understanding that you're thinking about a lot of things, you have a lot of barriers to really taking time for you. Even listening to this episode may take you 3 sittings, a couple commutes to get through. And I completely understand that. So, in understanding how busy you are and how many barriers you may have to your self care goals and your passion for wanting to reclaim joy in your motherhood experience, I will continue to talk about like the most simplest of things that you can do, because the shift happens as you build habits, and the habits are these simple things. Auditing your time. It's a very simple habit. My life now, Monday and Tuesday evenings are pretty chill. So Mondays and Tuesdays are really good days for me to do laundry. Mondays and Tuesday evenings, those are really good days to make like a big meal, like a crock pot meal, or just a bigger meal, like a bigger one pot meal that lasts a couple days. Because once Wednesday through Thursday comes around, we have dance, we have soccer, we have dance again. Sometimes we have different things that we do at community centers. So that end of the week, I don't have the time to do anything once I get home from work. It's like get home from work, change clothes real quick, and get my daughter to wherever she needs to be or whatever commitments they are. That also impacted me and my business because, Back to You in 5 is my business outside of me also working full time. So I used to do group coaching sessions and workshops in the evenings. Typically, I would do them on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Well, when my daughter's schedule got busier and my husband's schedule got longer because he works nights, I couldn't do that without having childcare. So it's like you have to weigh it out. It's like, do I want to get childcare for that time? Or do I say, hey, I'm actually not available to do workshops in this season, which is what I went with so that I don't have to rush around so much. Going back to how I don't feel comfortable rushing around and how I'm not my best self when I'm rushing around. So I truly do like to audit my time to see where I can be more productive. I also like that it helps me to extend more grace for myself. And I know when I have time for more rest, or I know when I have time to meet up with people I haven't seen in a while. And also it's just like it gives me just a better understanding of me. I can realistically say, hey, I know that I'm tired because this is what's happening on these days. And I really want that to be the same for you. If you're not tracking your time, life seems to be moving at warp speed. But if you can account for how you are spending your time, you will feel more in control. You could even make decisions now that will support you better in the future. So for me, I know I took on way too much with my daughter's dance season this year. I overcommitted and it has been really difficult to keep up with it. We're in it now, but I'm looking forward to the season ending and just reassessing how and if that still fits into our lifestyle, because I noticed too it's a balancing act of giving your child opportunities and exposure to different activities, and then also understanding that at different age certain things are too much. There have definitely been nights where my daughter's like, I don't really want to go to dance, and I could see that she's tired, like she just doesn't have her in her. Maybe she had a busy day at school, or maybe she's just tired and doesn't feel like it. And I hate to be in a situation where I've made a decision that now she's obligated to, especially at the age of 7. I don't think that right now I need to be teaching her about those big commitments and having discipline to sticking with big commitments like that. Right now, I feel like it's completely appropriate for if she says she's going to clean her room and then she does clean her room, she's learning commitment and why that's important. So constantly just in parenting, continuing to assess and reassess how all of this even lines up with my morals and my values and my beliefs as I keep moving through this motherhood journey. So, to recap, as we close things out here, I want you to download my free time audit and track your time for the next 7 days. Account for your commute if you have one, the hours you're working, the time it takes you to commute to after school activities, how much time you spend at those practices, how much time you spend scrolling on social media, what you do with your time when you're sitting at practice, how much time you spend at school pickup and drop off, how long it takes to prepare dinner. Just track it all. And in the audit, there are preset fields for you, but then there's also extra space for you to customize it to the things that you actually do. You may have more kids, more activities, more obligations, etc. Then identify where you have holes in your day, if any at all. Then I want you to reflect on the results. So what surprised you about how you are spending your time? When do you have opportunities to do things for yourself? How can you show yourself more grace? Once you do that, email me or DM me on Instagram and let me know how it went. I'd love to just hear from you. And please subscribe to the show and share it with a mom who could benefit from hearing these tips, as always. And take your time with it when it comes to auditing your time. It's not about you feeling like, oh, I'm spending too much time on this or that. You're not in the stage of making decisions on what you want to peel off of your life right now. I just want you to step into the awareness of, how am I spending my time right now? What am I doing? Where are the holes where other things can fit in? That's kind of step 1. And then we can make decisions on what more can I do? What less can I do? But this is step 1. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you found it helpful. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to this episode. I hope you learned at least one thing you can implement into your daily routine. To connect with me, follow at Back to You in 5 on Instagram. If you're feeling generous, share this episode with a mom you know and subscribe to the show. I appreciate your support. Remember, motherhood is a journey, not a destination. Grow through it and enjoy the view.